Hi, I'm Sophie Uliano, author of the Gorgeously Green book series. And today I'm going to show you how to make what I consider to be a dish for beauty. It's actually veggie chili, vegetarian chili. And why I call it beauty food, if you like, is that everything that we're putting in this pot is full of antioxidants and is just so good for you and will help to make your skin glow. So let's get straight on with it, and I'm going to show you what we are going to put into our veggie chili. So we have 1 grated carrot. We have 1 grated courgette, or medium courgette. We have 2 sticks of celery chopped. We have 1 yellow bell pepper chopped. We have 1 medium onion chopped. We have 2 bay leaves. We have 3 cloves of garlic chopped. I have a small tin of tomato paste or tomato puree. I have a regular sized tin of diced tomatoes. I have 2 tins of kidney beans, 1 tin of black beans, 1 tin of garbanzo beans or chickpeas. I also have some veggie broth. I have a large bunch of Swiss chard that I've chopped up. And here are the spices that you're going to put in your chili. You're going to put in cumin, you're going to put in cinnamon, you're going to put in paprika, and you're going to put in, of course, chili powder. So let's get cooking. Okay, so we're going to fry the onions. So I'm going to put in a little sunflower oil. This is high heat sunflower oil. Now, I actually never fry with olive oil. So my oil's nice and hot now, and I'm going to add my onions and give them a little stir around. And again, with all of this, it's just sort of really eyeballing it. The onions, as you can see, aren't really finely chopped because all of this is all going to meld and mush and bubble together once we get it going on in the slow cooking phase. Now, the next thing I'm going to put in is my celery, my 2 sticks of chopped celery. So it's very much the starter of almost any soup or stew. There we are. Just keep it moving. We don't want it to brown. We're just sweating these vegetables to get going. And then, because I put it on quite a low heat, I'm also going to add my garlic now, so I can get the flavors going. And the other thing that I'm going to add at this stage is my bay leaves. I'm going to put in 3 bay leaves. When you're making a veggie chili, you really want to think a lot about the flavors. You want a lot of spices, a lot of garlic, and a lot of herbs to give it the kick that it needs. Right, that should take about 3 more minutes now, just to soften those onions and that celery up enough. All right, so now my onions, garlic, bay leaves are smelling absolutely divine. And now is the spice adding phase. I always like to add my spices now when we're still in the sweating, frying stage, because it really brings out those pungent flavors. Now, I always eyeball it with these because a teaspoon here, a teaspoon there. Chili powder, obviously, you don't want to overdo it, but I'm putting in round about a teaspoon, give or take. I might add some more later. Round about, give or take, a teaspoon of paprika. And I'm going to put in about 1/4 teaspoon, just a teeny little shake of cinnamon. Gives it that sort of slightly sweet little spicy kick. And cumin, which is round about my favorite ever spice. I add cumin to almost every stew I make. And that's about a teaspoon. So we're going to just let all those meld together. Oh, it smells so wonderful now. Those lovely spices and flavors. And as I say, that's the amount of chili that I'm putting in at this stage. But whenever I'm making a chili, I will never add any more chili until the end. Let all the family taste it, because they all have different chili likes and dislikes. Right, so that's all good to go. Now, the next thing that I'm putting in is my beans, which form the sort of bulk of this chili. So I've got chickpeas or garbanzo beans, however you whatever you like to call them. I have black beans here, and I have 2 cans because they're so full of antioxidants. Kidney beans. There we are. And that is looking wonderful. Right, having got all the beans in the pot, those beautiful colors, I'm now going to add some veggie broth. Now again, completely eyeball this in terms of how much you want to put in. Right now, I'm just putting enough in, not so that it covers the beans, because you don't want it to be like a soup, but so that it comes round about halfway up the beans. You can always add more later. Right, the next thing I'm going to add is the diced tomatoes. And then I'm going to add in the tomato paste, which is really going to give this chili a real depth of color and richness. So all those tomatoes are bubbling away, the whole thing's beginning to take shape. Now, what makes this chili different from many other vegetarian chilies is I pack it, I stuff it full of vegetables. So I have my grated zucchini, in it goes, and the key with children is grated, because it hides very nicely, they can't tell it's in there. And then I've got grated carrot. And finally, I'm going to put in my diced yellow, to give it some beautiful color, bell pepper. So before I put this on the slow cooker, I'm just going to put in a little salt, a little freshly ground pepper. You can always add more when we taste it a little bit later. It's bubbling away really nicely. I love these slow cookers that you can start on the stove and then transfer to the plate, which is exactly what I'm going to do now. So turning that heat off, I'm going to carefully grab this pot, and then I'm going to place it onto the plate. And as you can see, the only thing that I haven't put in is the Swiss chard. And the reason is that I don't want this Swiss chard just to bubble and steam away for 2 or 3 hours. I want this to be a little fresher and more crunchy, so we're going to add that right at the last minute. So the pot's on, the lid's on, I'm putting it on a medium to high heat, and I'm going to leave it here for 3 hours to do its thing. Okay, 3 hours is up, and oh, that looks so good. It's so warming and delicious. So I'm actually just going to try a little bit now. And of course, with a slow cooker, you can always keep it going for 6 hours. You can make it in the morning and go out for 8 hours and just put it on low for the day while you're at work. So I'm going to try a little bit here with a dollop of sour cream on it. That's a must as far as I'm concerned with chili. You can serve it with some rice, even a little bit of cornbread. Let's give it a try. It is so good. And really taste all those different spices and crunchy vegetables. And I added the Swiss chard just about 15 minutes before the end of cooking. So it's sort of all but disappeared. Delicious. So for more tips, tricks, recipes and projects, please visit me at gorgeouslygreen.com.